Okay.
I guess it's time to put on our game face.
Yep. You want to go ahead and start us?
Sure.
Okay.
Well, welcome, everybody. I was going to say Sabbath morning, but it's really not Saturday or Sunday. Um, Volunteers for an opening prayer for our family home evening tonight?
Have a volunteer here.
All right. Thank you.
Dear Heavenly Father, thank you that we can connect to our friends and family around the world, and thank you that we can share the gospel. Thank you that we have a good connection, and please open this meeting. Please bless that everything will go according to thy will. In the name of Yeshua Messiah, amen.
Amen.
Amen. Thank you.
Well, Kevin and I either were volunteered or voluntold to take part tonight. And last time we did that, we were talking about the book of Ether in the 1830 Book of Mormon. It's I think we ended about page 542. After that top first paragraph, we were somewhere in the middle. And so, Kevin, you want me to go ahead and I'll start reading?
You bet.
I think we know roughly where we're at.
Yeah, well, I marked it, and this is my thoughts upon the land, which I should give unto you.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. And this is my thoughts upon the land which I shall give unto you for your inheritance. For it shall be a land choice above all other lands. And the Lord said, go to work and build after the manner of barges, which ye have hitherto built. And it came to pass that the brother of Jared did go to work, and also his brethren, and built barges after the manner which they had built according to the instructions of the Lord. Well, what do we learn here in this little couple sentences? I think we talked about the one idea that this is the land, which I shall give you for your inheritance, a land of choice, because technically the language here in the 1830 Book of Mormon says shall be a land choice above all other lands. We talked about that last time because they in the printer's manuscript there's a little of in between those two words. It's a land of choice. It's just not a choice land because
which does change the meaning a lot.
And it's interesting because if you look back a couple pages, he has said choice land about 10 times. Choice land, promised land, choice land. And then this is interesting here because I think that the printer just assumed that it must be a land choice because they'd said choice land, many, many times, the land of promise, land of choice, the land of, if you look back, I got them highlighted here, and it's a bunch. But there's a little word that was crossed out in the copy made in the printer's manuscript, land of choice. So it's interesting because and this is the Lord talking, and he says, and this is my thoughts, because they've had all this other discussion. And so now the Lord comes in, he says, well, this is what I think about it. And he says, this is a land of choice above all other lands. And so build barges and come to pass. And then they have this idea, it's a land choice, and you have this stuff about inheritance. I think that's one of the words that was thrown in there, isn't it?
Yep, it is.
So what does that mean, this land of inheritance? We know the inheritance we receive from the Lord is our agency. It's our ability to make poor choices and wise choices.
Well, one thing just to bring up is that we know that the Lord has said that nobody else except the people that he brings here are going to be allowed to come here. And so It's a land of choice. There's freedoms that are to be had here. And that is perhaps the one of the key features of the gospel is that they will not have anybody telling them what or how to do that's going to interfere with their agency. And so that's why it was a land of choice. They could make choices. They could have certain freedoms that would be given to them while they're here, after they got here.
Yeah, that becomes their inheritance. Well, the inheritance is really the covenant blessing.
Right.
You know, if we live worthy of it, then we shall obtain it.
Right.
You know, when I was a kid, would read about Brother Jared, and I always had the impression that here they're doing this stuff and they get this direction from the Lord to build these barges, which is true. But here they have a little phrasing here: go to work and build after the manner of barges which ye have hitherto built. See, this was not the first time these guys were building these barges, because they had left, and the brother of Jared and Jared had developed a pretty good connection with the Lord, because he had already directed him on this journey. And so now they end up at this big fancy ocean looking place. And so they're going to take these barges and build after that same manner, because they've got a long trip ahead of them. And roughly how long does it take to float in a barge or a ship across the continent?
I think it was about a year, wasn't it?
Yeah, about a year. How'd
That's
you
a
like
long
to
time.
get with all your brothers and sisters for a year in
Inside of a barge?
in the side of a barge the size of a tree, the length of a tree?
Not, you know, a week, even 2 weeks, it's good. But
You can only sing Kumbaya so many times, right?
well, that's the general
And you're
understanding of it.
really not going to have much of a campfire. You're not going to do many campfire songs. I mean, so this idea of you know, the way they had these barges designed, some would say like little submarines. So that sounds kind of like an interesting formula for some interesting family discussions, doesn't it?
It was. Sorry. Cooper.
Hey, Cooper. He is a big dog.
Yeah, he's
Rockwell family.
he's a very big dog.
He kind of looks like Scooby-Doo. A cross between that and some gargantuan lizard man from China.
No.
So they weren't this wasn't their first trip to build barges. And so they got that down, but I think they probably learned some lessons from last time, because now he's saying, man, we're going to have some issues we want to deal with.
Well, he talks in just the next couple of verses a little bit about the barges.
Yeah, you want to start there?
Yeah, nothing. And it came to pass that let's see. And the Lord said, go to work and build after the manner of barges which ye have hitherto built. It came to pass that the brother of Jared did go to work, and also his brethren, and built barges after the manner which they had built, according to the instructions of the Lord. And they were small, and they were light upon the water. Like you said, they're about the length of a tree. And they were small, and they were light upon the water, even like unto the lightness of a fowl upon the water. And they were built after a reamer, that they were exceedingly tight. Oh, after the manner. Bad ink on the page. Even they would hold water like unto a dish, and the bottom thereof was tight like unto a dish, and the sides thereof was tight like unto a dish, and the ends thereof were peaked, and the top thereof was tight like unto a dish, and the length thereof was the length of a tree, and the door thereof, when it was shut, was tight like unto a dish. And it came to pass that the brother of Jared cried unto the Lord, saying, O Lord, I have performed the work which thou hast commanded me, and I have made the barges according to that which thou hast directed me. Now, it's interesting. How do you make a door waterproof? They must have had to, there was a door on the top and a door on the bottom, so they must have had to reapply pitch to it each time they closed that door before it was closed. Because I would presume, unless it was raining, that that door was kept open most of the time for air circulation. Gotta be. And it came to pass that the brother of Jared cried unto the Lord, saying, O Lord, I have performed the work which thou hast commanded me, and I have made the barges according as thou hast directed me. And behold, O Lord, in them there is no light. Whither shall we steer? And also we shall perish in them, for we cannot breathe, save it is the air which is in them. Therefore we shall perish. So he's got some concerns here. And the Lord said unto the brother of Jared, Behold, thou shalt make a hole in the top thereof, and also in the bottom thereof. And when thou shalt suffer for air, thou shalt unstop the hole. And when thou shalt suffer for air, and thou shalt unstop the hole thereof and receive air. And if it so be that the water come in upon thee, behold, ye shall stop the hole thereof, that ye may not perish. So this is in addition to the door. I just answered that question myself. And it came to pass that the brother of Jared did so, according as the Lord had commanded. And he cried again unto the Lord, saying, O Lord, behold, I have done even as thou hast commanded me. And I have prepared the vessels for my people, and behold, there is no light in them. Well, this is another concern. Can't have fire. No campfires. Behold, O Lord, wilt thou suffer that we shall cross this great water in darkness? Now, that's kind of a scary thought if you think about it. And the Lord said unto the brother of Jared, Well, what will ye that I should do that ye may have light in your vessels? For behold, ye cannot have windows, for they will be dashed in pieces. Neither shall ye take fire with you, for ye shall not go by the light of fire. For behold, ye shall be as a whale in the midst of the sea, for the mountain waves shall dash upon you. Nevertheless, I will bring you up again out of the depths of the sea, for the winds have gone forth out of my mouth, and also the rains and the floods have I sent forth. And behold, I prepare you against these things, for howbeit ye cannot cross this great deep, save I prepare you against the waves of the sea and the winds which have gone forth, and the floods which shall come. Therefore, what will ye that I should prepare for you, that ye may have light when you are swallowed up in the depths of the sea? I think it's interesting that the Lord asks him the question. I mean, the Lord knows what he's going to do, but he asked the question of the brother of Jared.
Well, the Lord probably had many solutions that he could have come up with, because the Lord's a pretty smart guy.
Right?
But he's asking him, how do you want to handle it? I mean, this is agency
That's
on
exactly
steroids.
right. Yeah.
Yeah. Hey, Kevin, this is your problem. How would you like to handle it?
Yeah.
You know, this is not a God who's just going to come down and, set up a hierarchy and tell you how to do stuff. He's a guy who's given you all the talents and resources, and he's kind of had some experience. I mean, it's not like this is a new problem. He's thinking we kind of rode the bike around this block before. I know there's going to be a lighting problem. I know there's
Yeah.
going to be some door problems. I
Well,
assume
I would bet that he had been thinking about this problem for quite a while,
Yeah, yeah.
you know, and the air problem.
And he's got teenage boys there, and their socks, they don't smell so great after a while, right? And
Well,
so,
have you ever been on the ocean and been seasick?
pretty close. I went deep sea fishing one time, and that's close enough.
Well, yeah, it's miserable because it doesn't stop until you really get to land.
Yeah.
And I would suspect that there was some weight loss on that voyage.
And some nice smells inside the
Yeah,
boat.
yeah, for sure. Well, let's move on.
I'm just wondering though, can you imagine brother of Jared? He's saying, okay, Lord, how long's this little trip gonna last? I don't see any discussion of that here.
No, it doesn't mean that they didn't have it. It just meant that it wasn't apparently important enough to include in the record. So there was a lot more things, I'm sure, that were said than what is
Yeah,
written down.
I just think it's interesting because you got Lehigh with the same problem. You're gonna now on him at least you can be playing pirate because you're on this big old ship and you can got the some sailing skills you can develop. And
Yes, but even that wasn't made after the manner of ships built by men.
yeah, it was probably got some interesting things to it, but you're relying on the Lord, for the winds and the waves to obey his will and peace be still, and you're gonna float the right direction, just like the song says.
Yeah. So you don't think it had a 600 horsepower Caterpillar diesel engine in it?
Well, might have. I think they had ancient technology at times, but there's no record of that.
Like we said, a lot of mysteries here.
It is interesting though, because you see why these guys, realistically, you look at this and think this could be some interesting discussion. They're all willing. The Lord's preserved their language. He's blessed them greatly. They're going to go collect stuff, and they're going to get in these barges. But I think there's a lot being said about faith here behind the scenes before we get to the real story of faith, because everything they're doing is faith based.
Well, and I do think that it's great that the Lord says, well, what do you think we should do? And I mean, how many times have you done that with your children when they're little? When they're gonna ask you a question and you kind of lead them on. You help them to discover for themselves there's answers to this. And that's kind of what he let Brother Jared do, was come up with an answer.
Well, Jared and the brother Jared, they're not stupid. So they've got a family council. They got these other guys, their brother-in-laws, whoever it is, and they're all there and they're discussing this stuff. And we better get some answers from the Lord and find out, this path. They're developing a path of success that they can support. And they're going to be very faithful because God has told them what he wants them to do, and they're going to make it happen.
Right.
That's action. That's
Well, and if we look at the chronology here, Brother Jared doesn't come up with this solution until later, because it says in the next paragraph, and it came to pass that the brother of Jared, now the number of the vessels which had been prepared was 8. So the vessels have already been made. They're getting to the point where they're probably provisioning it. And there are some questions that undoubtedly the wives were asking these guys. Well, you're not expecting, and I believe that the women had an awful lot to do with this.
Oh, I'm
You're
sure.
not telling us we're going to go across there in dark. What are you going to do for light? Because everything was done by candlelight in those days, oil candles. So let's see what he says. It was 8 went forth unto the mount which they called Mount Shelem, because of its exceeding height, and did molten out of a rock 16 small stones, and they were white and clear, even as transparent glass. And he did carry them in his hands upon the top of the mount, and cried again unto the Lord. So he's up on the mountain. He molts these out of this rock, probably sandstone, because glass is made from sand. O Lord, thou hast said that we must be encompassed about by the floods. Now behold, O Lord, and do not be angry with thy servant because of his weakness before thee. For we know that thou art holy and dwellest in the heavens, and that we are unworthy before thee because of the fall of our natures have become evil continually. Nevertheless, O Lord, thou hast given us a command that we must call upon thee, that from time to time that from thee we may receive according to our desires. Behold, O Lord, thou hast smitten us because of our iniquity, and hast driven us forth, and for this many years we have been in the wilderness. Nevertheless, thou hast been merciful unto us. He's acknowledging the Lord and the great blessing that he's done for them. First, preserve their language, preserve their lives, helped them in the wilderness as they traveled. They finally get to this location, so there's been a great many blessings that have come their way. And he said, O Lord, look upon me in pity, and turn away thine anger from this people, and suffer not that they shall go forth across this raging deep in darkness. Behold these things which I have molten out of the rock. And I know, O Lord, that thou hast all power, and can do whatsoever thou wilt for the benefit of men. Therefore touch these stones, O Lord, with thy finger, and, O Lord, with thy finger, and prepare them that they may shine forth in darkness, that they may shine forth unto us in the vessels which we have prepared, that we may have light while we shall cross the sea. So he comes up with his own solution. Behold, O Lord, thou canst do this. We know that thou art able to show forth great power, which looks small unto the understanding of men. Go ahead, Bill.
Let's look at some of this, because this is kind of interesting, some of this stuff. These were pretty faithful people. And he says here, back on the bottom of 543, he acknowledges that we have been calling upon the Lord. They've been praying a bunch. In fact, if you go back to the previous pages, it said the brother of Jared especially had called upon God. I mean, it says it many, many times. Called upon God, cried is the way it will define it. And then after a while, he kind of got in trouble because that description is that they had not called upon the name of the Lord. So that's that phrasing that was discussed last time we were talking here. So there's a lot of this imagery that's going on through this chapter. They're talking about this prayer, and there's these guys have been faithful, and they're doing this stuff. And then in one of the phrases he says here, look upon us in pity and turn away thine anger from this thy people. I'm assuming these guys are thinking there was some what they would describe as anger, because they've coming from a culture that's been building a tower to prevent drowning from a flood. You know, this Tower of Babel to get to heaven. And so, you know, they're concerned about that. They're trying to be faithful and prayerful. And so I think they're really trying to develop this connection with the Lord. And so he comes up with this idea of touching the stones because he says, hey, if you'll just touch the stones with your finger, Oh, well, where'd he get that idea? Because he's going to express surprise later, like, hey, I didn't know you had a body. But here he is, he's saying right up front, touch these stones with your finger. So that's kind of interesting, isn't it?
Well, I think that glass making is a very old art, and speaking at it from the gemology standpoint, goes way, way back. And glass is essentially composed from sand. Now, it could have been quartz. When he says that it was taken from he made them out of this rock that he had found. We don't know if it was quartz. We don't know if it was sand, which is essentially ground up quartz. Could have been either or. But they probably did have the ability to make glass back then. I mean, it's been around for many thousands of years. But who would have thought that it allows light in through to a home, when it's placed on a window outside, and you'll have sunlight that passes through it, and it provides light inside the room. And so this may have been a part of his thinking and of his reasoning why that would work okay. I don't,
Well, they had expressly said that we can't put windows in because they'll break.
right,
I think they're inferring that they could have done glass windows,
right.
but the force of the ocean would not. They didn't have tempered glass, not in the same way. We got bulletproof glass now and tempered glass, and you're building.
You'd have to have a really hot fire that will melt sand or
Yeah.
sand-like substance. And so it says that he molded them. He could have picked up these stones off of the ground, picked up 16 random stones from the ground and said, touch these with your finger. But it required a lot more effort, at least in the mind of the brother of Jared, to put these things together. They had to molten it. They had to gather the material that it's made out of. Then he had to build a fire that was, going to be probably around 1,500 degrees. That's hot. You've got to have a bellows in order to be able to do that too. So he would have built bellows to do this. This was not an easy task that he was being asked to do, or that he came up with. He wasn't asked to do it, but he was asked, "What's your answer?" The Lord asked him. So that's
Well,
what brother Jared came up with.
yeah, and it's kind of interesting, but this phrase right at the bottom of the page on 543, he's going to tell the Lord, hey, just touch them with your finger.
Yeah.
Now later he's going to say, I didn't know you had a hand. I didn't know you had fingers. And so this is an interesting thing. And of course, he's been familiar with the Lord. He's seen him numerous times, been talking to him in a cloud. He's traveled with these people. Joseph, what's your thoughts on that? Did he somehow come across a knowledge that the Lord had a body, even though he's going to kind of be surprised when he gets to see things? But he wouldn't be talking about the Lord's finger unless he had scriptures that talk about the finger of the Lord. I mean, there's some Old Testament stuff that does that. Any comments from anybody on that? I just think it's interesting. He had some intuitive ability. He knew that the Lord had a finger.
Right.
It says it right here.
Right.
So, and prepare them.
Hello. Oh, our dad can't really speak at the moment.
Okay.
Okay.
So,
Well, I guess he better have
Will,
Will
do you
talk
have
for
a
him.
comment
I
about our
missed the
ramblings?
initial question.
We're just, before the brother Jared sees the Lord, he's saying to the Lord, hey, just touch this stuff with your finger. And then later he's expressing surprise that I didn't know you had a body. I just think it's interesting.
Yeah, well, he could have been referring to the spiritual finger because these guys were not uneducated. They knew they knew plenty of scriptures, and even if the Tower of Babel was, they were trying to do things wrong, but that's not because they knew, or I mean, the people who were building the Tower of Babel knew what the right thing was. They just decided that they didn't like that. They wanted to go do their own thing.
They didn't want to tread water, possibly. So,
A long way to go.
yeah.
Yeah, well, I forget where I heard it, but the guy who was trying to build it figured he could make his own he could just break into heaven and make it the way he wanted.
Yeah.
He wasn't that bright sometimes.
Right. And they always want to set up their own rules. I don't like the Lord's rules for heaven. We're going to create our own heaven.
Yeah.
So,
So the brother of Jared obviously, well, he knew enough and he was praying enough that he could communicate with the Lord on a regular basis. So he obviously had, a fair bit of knowledge.
yeah.
It's just the fact that, well, before they came to Earth, they were spirits. They had spirit bodies. And so when he sees the Lord, reach out with with a body, with a body, he still thought that the Lord was a spiritual body or a spiritual being, and he didn't realize that he's already figured some of this stuff out.
Yeah. Well, it's interesting stuff, isn't it?
Yep.
Let me go on now. It says, "Behold, O Lord, thou canst do this." Hey, you got this. "We know thou art able to show forth great power, which looks small unto the understanding of men. And it came to pass that when the brother of Jared had said these words, behold, the Lord stretched forth his hand and touched the stones one by one with his finger. And the veil was taken from off the eyes of the brother of Jared, and he saw the finger of the Lord, and it was as the finger of a man, like unto flesh and blood. And the brother of Jared fell down before the Lord, for he was struck with fear. And the Lord saw that the brother of Jared had fallen to the earth. And the Lord said unto him, Arise, why hast thou fallen? And he saith unto the Lord, I saw the finger of the Lord, and I feared lest he should smite me. For I knew not that the Lord had flesh and blood. And the Lord said unto him, Because of thy faith, thou hast seen that I shall take upon me flesh and blood, and never has man come before me with such exceeding faith as thou hast. Were it so, he could not have seen my finger. Sawest thou more than this? And he answered, Nay, Lord, show thyself unto me. And the Lord said unto him, Believest thou the words which I shall speak? And he answered, Yea, Lord, I know that thou speakest the truth, for thou art a God of truth, and canst not lie. And when he had said these words, behold, the Lord showed himself unto him and said, Because thou knowest these things, ye are redeemed from the fall. Therefore ye are brought back into my presence. Therefore I show myself unto you. Behold, I am he which was prepared from the foundation of the world to redeem my people. Behold, I am Jesus Christ. I am the Father and the Son. In me shall all mankind have light, and that eternally, even they which shall believe on my name. And they shall become my sons and my daughters. Well, it's a good time to think back at what we were talking about last time. We were talking about believing on the name, and they become my sons and my daughters. They do that portion of the work. So this is kind of interesting stuff. And now I think it's interesting because the brother of Jared had been asking for light. Touch the stones with your fingers so we can have light. What does he say? You know, in me shall all mankind have light. In other words, he is the source of this light. He's saying, because you believe this, it's a simple thing to light up a rock. Rocks have natural fluorescence anyway. That's probably the basis of why he's thinking this. A gemologist knows all about that stuff. And so, you know, we believe on that name, and they shall become my sons and my daughters. And never hath I showed myself unto man whom I have created, for never hath man believed in me as thou hast. Seest thou that ye are created after mine own image? I think he's saying, hey, look in the mirror. You know, the scriptures say you're created in my image. Look in the mirror. What's your image? You're surprised that you look like me?
I've got a bit of a comment as well.
Let's hear it, Will.
Well, a few lines back, he says that you see that I shall take on a body like you. So obviously, you know, the Lord has shown people the future many times. He takes people up to the mountain and shows them all the earth from the beginning to the end. And it's interesting because the brother of Jared here finally had enough faith that he was able to see a little bit deeper. Like he was able to see, you know, this is what the Lord will have a body like. This is, I mean, because he already has it, but time stuff, time doesn't matter too much. But it's the fact that he's learning and is learning how to see past the veil. Well, he started to learn how to see past the veil on his own, basically.
Yeah, and he's going to go on here and spell out exactly what you just said. Seest thou that you're created after mine own image? Yea, even all men were created in the beginning after mine own image. Behold, this body which ye now behold is the body of my spirit. And man have I created after the body of my spirit. In other words, it's in the likeness of this spirit. 2 arms, 2 legs, you know, a head, etc. And even as I appear unto thee to be in the spirit, will I appear unto my people in the flesh. My people. Now, this is interesting, isn't it? Because does this apply to us? Will the Lord appear unto us if we are his people in the flesh? Because it says this numerous times through the Book of Mormon. It's another place where you're told that we can expect, if we prepare and live worthy and keep all the commandments, that the Lord will appear to his people in the flesh.
Right.
So it's another good little catch there, isn't it?
I think so. He spells it out pretty succinctly. I think you're right on that.
Kevin, what other comments do you have about this stuff here so far?
Well, my mind is always brought back to light, and you know, the Lord and the scriptures talk about light very, very much. And even in this, there's a physical manifestation of a spiritual thing that they're talking about. Light is understanding, it's knowledge, it's intelligence. Joseph Smith taught that the glory of God is intelligence. And it's only intelligent if you use it for intelligent purposes, I think. If you have knowledge, that's not the same as intelligence. anybody can know how to light a match, but what you do with the match can be for good or it can be for evil. So you can start fires with it. Fires can warm you, can cook your food, be very beneficial, or it can burn your house down or somebody else's house down. So it can be used both ways. Light and knowledge and intelligence are not necessarily synonymous with each other, but I like the verbiage that they're using there. Very, to me, it's very suggestive of some deeper points of Scripture.
Well, the Lord says in Scripture many times in the Bible, and of course the other scriptures, He's the light. I am
Right.
the light. And it's really
Exactly.
true.
Yep.
All light comes from Him. End of discussion. Now, Moroni goes on, he says, now as I, Moroni, said, I could not make a full account of these things which are written. Therefore it sufficeth me to say that Jesus showed himself unto this man in the spirit, even after the manner and in the likeness of the same body, even as he showed himself unto the Nephites. And he ministered unto him, even as he ministered unto the Nephites. And all this, that this man knew that he was God. Because of the many great works which the Lord had shown unto him, and because of the knowledge of this man, he could not be kept from beholding within the veil. And he saw the finger of Jesus, which when he saw, he fell with fear, for he knew that it was the finger of the Lord. And he had faith no longer, for he knew, nothing doubting. Wherefore, having this perfect knowledge of God, he could not be kept from within the veil. Therefore, he saw Jesus, and he did minister unto him. Well, there's some great language there to think about. We won't talk about it much, but there's some interesting stuff in this Book of Mormon.
Well, and we could go on and on about this, but suffice it to say that I think this gift that the brother of Jared has received is open to all of us if we'll do what's required. We can, we certainly can see the Lord, but we have to follow what the Lord has told us to do. And there's no other way. There is no other way.
One interesting thing here is the beginning of that paragraph. It says, Moroni said, and now as I, Moroni said, I could not make a full account of all these things which are written. But he's referring back to something that happened in the first part of the chapter. Because he says that this part of the record, which speaks of the creation of the world and Adam and Eve, an account of all this stuff, we'll get part of that. But then it says, but the rest of this story is had upon the plate, page 539, and whoso findeth them, the same will have power that he may get the full account. Well, this is kind of interesting. Whose assignment is that going to be? Because he's clearly saying there's more scripture that shall be found. So are we studying the histories of these books and the various things? Are we praying for that? Are we looking for that? Because it's going to talk about the creation of the world and Adam and an account of that time, even to the great tower, that Tower of Babel, and what transpired among the children of men up to that time. It's had among the Jews. But then we're going to get plates, and whoso findeth them will have power to get the full account. Now, that sounds pretty interesting to me. And here he is talking about it again. That there's more to come.
Yep.
This is like a Vegas buffet. You know, we got a few of the items up front. We might have some fried chicken, but you know, the ribeyes and the prime rib are down here. And that's in these other plates, which are to come to those who seek to find them.
Right.
That's what the book is saying, isn't it?
Yeah, and therein lies the key. You got to look,
And you got to ask.
and you got to ask, and you got to be living the way that you've been instructed to live, and do all those things, and love your brother. And there's a lot that's involved here. It's no small task, but
Well,
do it we must.
just these things we've read here. There's some interesting stuff because it's talked about crying to the Lord. Cry to the Lord. He cried to the Lord here. He cried to the Lord here. He cried to the Lord here. Prayed here. It's all in this reference of prayer. But then he's going to do this stuff to call upon in the name of the Lord. Call upon the name of the Lord. Well, when we take the sacrament, what do?
Take upon ourselves his name.
Yeah, we take upon us the name of the Lord.
Right.
So, that seems kind of interesting, especially this last little paragraph we just read here too. So, lots of interesting stuff in this old Book of Mormon if you start looking at some little words that are said.
Right. And this is actually the Book of Ether.
Yeah.
Although Mormon's son Moroni did have a few words to say about it. So
Yeah. I think he thought it was pretty cool.
it's an amazing, I've wondered many times how many other groups of people has he led here, to the promised land, to this land of choice.
Well, I'm not a mathematician, but I'd say how many tribes of Israel are there? And all of those tribes that have had someone qualify, I would think they probably come over here and they've got their records somewhere.
Yeah.
Maybe that's what they're referring to. Get these records. But let's go back a page or so, because we didn't talk about this the other day when we were doing this. When they're talking about this record, they're saying that they use this term greatest. So what's he talking about? These Jaredites. This is page 540, and there shall be none greater than the nation which I will raise up unto me of thy seed among all the face of the earth. None greater. What does that mean? Numbers, technology, faithfulness, inventions.
I would think that it would mean anyone greater in the knowledge of the Lord. Here they have, a prophet of God. He's receiving instruction. The people are invited, and it's made known that they can have this same relationship with the Lord. That's his program. Was then, it still is today. Those are my thoughts on it.
Well, there's all of this record, the Book of Ether, is found on 24 plates. 24 plates that people have
Right.
lived life. And now in Book of Mormon terms here, it's how many pages? I guess I could
That's a
count
good
it here.
question. On the book, from the Book of Ether itself.
Yeah, it's 573 to 538, 38, so 40, maybe 30, 40 pages, 40 pages roughly. It's a fairly large time of history that's discussed. We don't want to spoil the ending of the Book of Ether, but it doesn't end so well, does it? I think you're muted.
Thank you. I didn't want you to hear my coughing.
I was trying to read your lips.
Well, yeah, it didn't. I mean, the entire civilization was killed to the last man, except for Coriantumr at the very end, and he lived for just a short enough period of time that he was able to kind of relay. We really goofed up to the Nephites when he was telling them, being the last man standing. Terrible. Had to, he was not such a good guy though, or Hitler. He did plenty of bad himself. So
I think there's a lesson here. Whatever made them such a great nation, they ended up killing each other to the man. Nobody left. I think you're muted again.
okay, sorry. I started to respond. I'm sure glad you're here.
Well, I thought it was fun to try and read your lips.
Yeah, sorry about that. Yeah, you get this same scenario that plays over within the Book of Mormon repeatedly, and it still continues to this day. People don't change. Technology changes, programs change, but people don't. People are the same, and it requires a true change of heart. As the Savior said, you got to have a contrite heart and be willing to do the things that he's asked us to do. So that's the journey that each of us are on. But wow, it's not easy, but it's not intended to be easy.
Well, it's interesting. The people of Noah, we don't know how many people drowned in the flood, but it was a bunch. High civilization, probably had great technology. We know very little about it. I mean, there's people that have speculations about it. But their pride, their wickedness got the best of them. They were destroyed. Jaredites, the Nephites, all these Manorites, And so we look at our society and we look at what this says about us. And I think we got to take it pretty serious that we have some improving to do. We have some changing to do. And it starts right in our homes. You can't clean up a nation, but you can't clean up a home. And if everybody does that, then it will have that ripple effect. So,
Well, Moroni makes the statement, that in seeing our day, Jesus Christ hath shown you unto me, and I know you're doing. And so it was given to us as a guide and as a help to get us back to our Father in heaven. Teaches us an awful lot of truths, but even that, we've only got a small amount of what they reveal. We've only got the Gentile portion of it, the stuff for, the gospel for dummies. And that's the portion that we really kind of have. 2/3 of it are still unknown to us. Yeah, we all have some, as Ricky Ricardo would say, Lucy, you got some splaining to do.
He was Italian, wasn't he?
No, I think he may have been Cuban.
Oh, okay. All right.
Band leader.
I should know that. My daughter's half Cuban.
Yeah.
Well, because it's Castro.
Yeah, Fidel.
Yeah, well, his father was from Spain.
As the book of Ether goes on, we're probably out of time, but it will end up with secret combinations.
Right.
And of course, there's rumor that some of those combinations will still exist, talked about in the Book of Mormon. They will dominate society. They will control education, medicine, science, entertainment, politics, just a few things. And of course, they will have their secret oaths and their naughty things they do. And that's what destroys the Jaredite nation. And of course, we see them, they're quite public now.
And they don't really seem to care who knows about them. They're not hiding it.
Yeah. Yeah, they're not secret like they, have been in the past.
Yeah.
So, well, final comments or suggestions, conclusions of this portion. I guess we're ending. I don't know if we ever get called upon to go more, we could take off where we just finished off. And that way we can repeat everything for a third time. And after you hear it 3 or 4 times, think, maybe I'll remember some of it.
Well, hopefully we've managed to get ourselves fired from this position.
Well,
After tonight.
yeah. Oh, it's all fun.
Yeah.
And with that great conclusion, are there volunteers for a prayer?
Yes.
All right, go for it. Thank you.
Okay. Dear Heavenly Father, thank thee for this day. Thank thee that we could have this meeting. Please close this meeting. In the name of Yeshua Messiah, amen.
Amen.
Amen. Thanks.
Thanks for coming, everybody.
Yeah. It's all fun.
Pastor Ezra, good to see you up there today,
Yeah.
this evening. Well, it's evening here. It's not evening there.
Very early there, isn't it?
Yeah, it's probably about 5 o'clock in the morning, I'm guessing. I think there's about a 10-hour difference thereabouts.
Yeah.
All right, have a good night.
Thanks,
Thanks,
everybody.
Rick. Yeah, everybody, thank you for coming. We'll see you.
Bye.
Bye-bye.